Hello there! So today I am here at VidCon with Priscilla from TheReadables. So we thought we would make a few collab videos.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all cool. Sorry you couldn't be here, but you know.
Yeah, or maybe you're here.
Oh yeah, then why didn't you say hi to me? Yeah.
I know.
Oh, right.
So today we are going to be doing the first and last book tag, and this was created by Kimberly's Book Nook. So there are 9 questions, and it's basically about booktube and books, and the first and last things you did, people you saw. It's
Pretty
interesting.
Self-explanatory.
Yes. Alright, so our first question, what was the first video you posted? And what was the last video you posted?
Shall I go first?
Yes.
Okay, so the first video I posted was back in August of 2010. It was just an intro video, which you don't have to look back at. Actually, you don't have to look at any of my
I've seen
videos.
it. The link will be in the description for her first video.
Don't do it. At least what's great about having those old videos up now is you can see how far you've come since when you first started. But anyways, it was a very short intro of me looking down, saying hi, and saying what books I'm going to read. I think it was
from your Mac webcam.
I know. It was very awkward, like looking down kind of video, which I learned a lot from. So that was my first video, and my last video was my what's in my bag tag video, and it was VidCon style, showing all the things I would bring in my purse, and I didn't realize how heavy it was after putting all that stuff in. So yeah.
My first YouTube video, it wasn't a booktube video, it was on my old channel, which will not be named.
Why?
This was in 2010, and I was 12 years old, trying to be a YouTuber.
Aww.
And it was called Pilot, because I thought, you know, that's how TV shows start, so that's how I'm going to start as well. And it consisted of me saying, hi, I'm Marvin, because my parents wouldn't let me use my full name.
Oh yeah, right,
real
they
name.
have to save you first.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I was Marvin for about a year on YouTube until I started booktubing. And then I like slow motion jumped onto a couch. It was awkward, it was very weird. But then my first booktube video was my opening book haul, and it was basically 15 minutes of me like mumbling to the camera like, I really like this book.
That's all how we start out, I think.
Right.
Just very quiet, and
yeah. And then
here we are.
yes, the last video I posted, as of filming this, I'm sure I'll have some up before I post this, but it was the birthday book haul.
Happy belated birthday, Tiernan!
Thank you. So the next question is, who was the first booktuber you ever watched, and who was the last booktuber you ever watched?
Okay, I think the first booktuber, I think it's a tie because I can't say for sure, but I think the first booktubers I watched were the YA fiction freaks, for those old school booktubers out there who started way back when I did. Also, Megan the Book Addict. She was another YouTuber that I watched, and she was reviewing High Society by Ali Carter, and that was the first, that was the first book I actually picked up because of a booktuber. The last booktuber I watched. Who was the last booktuber I watched? I blank it out.
Make someone up.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It's okay to not know.
I know the last YouTube video I watched was this morning, watching a SourceFed table talk video.
There we go.
That's all I have right now.
Okay, first booktuber I watched, it's also between two, because I don't know who I found first, but it was Cass J. Tuck.
Yes.
And her videos about Maximum Ride, and then you.
Oh, was it me?
Yeah, you and Cass J. Tuck were my first like booktube inspirations, I think. So.
Yeah, Cass is awesome.
Yes. Yeah. The last booktuber I watched, this morning I watched Natasha from Tashopolis, her video about VidCon Day 1, which was yesterday.
Oh, no way.
So I had to check that out.
Put something up?
I know, she's like daily vlogging at VidCon.
On the ball.
We are slacking.
I know.
I know. I'm gonna have like one VidCon video.
Yeah.
It's gonna be up like a month after VidCon. Alright. Next we have, what is the first book you remember buying, and what was the last book you bought?
I would say the first book it was probably a manga of some sort. Probably like a Fruits Basket manga, which was like 12 bucks. And the last book I bought was The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is the current read I have yet to really dive into, so I'm really excited about reading that and finishing it. So
the first book I remember buying would have to be a Magic Treehouse book. I don't know which one, but yeah, that was like my series. It's what I read. I like bought the new ones as they came out. But I do remember buying Harry Potter, and that was with my own money, and I bought that at Target first.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that was when paperback books were $4.99.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
But then it jumped.
Yeah,
There you go.
now like you can buy a Harry Potter paperback for like $15.
Yeah.
What is the first novel you remember reading all by yourself, and what was the last novel you read?
I guess, the first novel I remember reading by myself, I don't know, this is my go-to answer for most Roald Dahl's James and the Giant Peach in grade 3. I think it was my first like big kid book. There were like less pictures in it and more words, and I thought that was a big deal. The last novel I read or finished,
all by yourself.
All by myself. The last book I read was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, which is amazing, and the ending is crazy, and you guys should read it if you don't mind mature content and all that stuff. But yeah, that was a really good book.
The first book I remember reading by myself was actually Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and I could be very wrong. But I remember, like, as I was reading the Harry Potter series, I thought it was so, like, gigantic and a massive read. So I would read, like, a chapter of Harry Potter and then, like, another book, like a children's book. As I was, like, in 3rd grade reading these, like, Roald Dahl books, like Matilda and the Witches.
So you go off and on with Harry Potter just to fill in.
Yeah, like, Harry Potter was a big read for an 8-year-old.
I can imagine, because the books kept getting longer and longer. Yeah, I don't know
like
how.
By the time I got to Goblet of Fire, I was like, it's gonna take months. Yeah. What was the first dystopian novel you ever read? What was the last dystopian novel you read?
I would say The Hunger Games by Susan Collins. Like, I feel like I didn't read any good classic dystopian novels when I was in grade school, which is really sad because I didn't read Brave New World. And the last one would probably be Marie Lou's Legend.
Like the whole series or just Legend?
No, just Legend. I still have yet to read Prodigy and Champion, which I'm really excited. Oh yeah? Okay, yeah, I'm excited.
I've heard they're really good, so I don't know why
I know.
I haven't read them. I'm also The Hunger Games, that's all I remember reading. And then I have to say the last one was probably Allegiant by Veronica Roth, the last Divergent book.
Oh yeah,
have you read that yet?
I did. Maybe that was the last one.
Oh, your answer is different now.
I know.
Okay, what was the first paranormal romance you read? Was the last paranormal romance you read? I might have the same answer for this because I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't read very much paranormal romance, but I'm trying to think.
Okay, well, my first paranormal romance was Twilight by
Me
Stephanie.
too.
Yeah, by Stephanie Meyer.
Did you like the book though? Like you read the whole series? Right?
Yeah, I must have liked it if I followed the entire series. The last book, I didn't like it, but yeah, for the most part, I was really engaged and entertained by it. But yeah, the last paranormal romance, it's been a while. No, City of Glass is urban fantasy. I was gonna say because it has kind of paranormal, like the monsters and things, and it has romance in it, but I guess people would consider it more urban fantasy than, I don't know.
I think you can count it if you want to.
Let's say not City of Glass, but City of Heaven. No, is it?
Did you read the last one that just came out?
I'm probably mistaken.
Okay, City of Lost Souls was the 5th one. Did you read City of Fallen Angels?
The 4th one.
City of Fallen Angels.
Okay, yeah, City of Fallen Angels was probably my last.
You know, my first was Twilight. My last might be Breaking Dawn. What are some like really popular...
I'm not too familiar with the paranormal
I'm not either, because
genre.
I'm in general just annoyed by it. I mean, not by like people reading it, but like when I'm reading about werewolves, I'm just like, I'm not into that.
I think like the Shiver series, like all of the really old school paranormal romance, I guess when Twilight happened and all of these other, like Vampire Academy is a paranormal romance.
I read about 100 pages of that, so maybe I could count that. Vampire Academy.
Let's go with that, yeah.
Alright. What was the first book that made you cry? What was the last book that made you cry?
This is a hard question for me because I don't cry at books.
I mean, I do sometimes.
Oh,
it's like I cried at Perks of Being a Wallflower. Cried a little bit at The Fault in Our Stars. Like I get misty-eyed.
Yeah.
But I don't like sit there and sob about
the ugly cry, right? When people talk about it, it's like, how does that feel like when you read a book and you connect? So, I guess my first and last together would be Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Because that was the first time I really connected with the character because I thought me and Kath were like such on the same level.
Did you cry at that?
Yeah, and it wasn't even a sad book.
It wasn't even sad.
It's not a sad book. And it's like, oh god, I cried to this non-sad
No,
part.
I can see it though, like connecting with her so much.
It's like, oh god, this is my life in the book. It's like, oh, this is so sad going on. But yeah, I really connected with her in that way, so I guess the tears.
I'm trying to think, like, I didn't cry at Allegiant.
How about Fault in Our Stars? Did you read that?
guess so. I guess I'll say The Fault in Our Stars, but then I read The Perks of Being a Wallflower after that.
Oh, did you? Oh.
So I don't sit there and cry about books though.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe I'll get sad.
Yeah,
I'll
like
think
the
about
feeling
it.
will be there, but the
Yeah.
actual action of crying. What's happening out there?
Something's
The people
happening
are
outside.
Screaming.
They're actually screaming for us.
It's
we
so-
have
oh, yeah.
our fan base is outside the window.
Yes.
On the roof.
We'll just ignore them for now.
Yes.
No.
No pictures, please.
Shut up.
The next question is, what was the first entire series you completed, and what was the last entire series you completed?
First series I completed was Twilight, for sure. The last series I completed was either Infernal Devices or the Divergent series.
The first series I finished was Harry Potter. The last series I finished was also Divergent. Okay. Moving on. And the final question, after our fans calm down out there. What was the first book you couldn't push yourself to finish, and what was the last book you couldn't finish?
This is easy for me because I try to finish each book I pick up. I would say Don Quixote was the first book I couldn't finish. Last book I couldn't finish was The Odyssey by Homer. I tried...
I had to read that for English last year.
Oh yeah?
It's awful.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, any book
yeah.
I have to read for English,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, ugh. First book I couldn't finish. I actually have no idea.
No?
Wow. I'm just gonna talk about the last book I couldn't finish. I'm not gonna sit here and think about that for like 20 minutes. The last book I couldn't finish was Vampire Academy. Not because it was bad,
Yeah.
I just so was not feeling the vampire thing at that point. I was
Yeah.
like, I need a contemporary to read right now.
Yeah.
So I set it down, and when I set books down, they
Yeah.
just don't get picked back up.
I know. I know!
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, a lot of my unread books or in my TBR that I physically have, I've set down like a couple of books and plan to read it later, but just haven't had the chance to do it.
Because then I struggle, like, do I start where I left
yeah, right.
off, or do I restart and
From the
read that 100 pages
Yeah.
again? Like, I don't want to. So this has been the first and last tag. We also filmed a video on Priscilla's channel.
Yes,
What
check
did
it
we
out.
do again?
The reading habits tag or something similar to that.
Something like that.
Yes.
We're about to film it.
Yeah.
So her video is also going up today, so make sure you check it out, and her channel, the link will be in the description.
This is my first collab.
collab.
I know, and maybe the last time we do will be the last collab. Well, maybe in the future we'll do more.
Yeah,
if we
next
ever-
year at VidCon.
I know.
Be there.
Yes.
Alright, so that is it, and I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye!
Bye!